Hey guys, how you doing? Just got off a call with Louise Vargas from 280 Bakes. Really interesting conversation with her. Just mainly about how or what she does really with her, obviously her bakery, the cakes and birthday cakes and cupcakes and all that she does. Also how she go about marketing her business. Kind of really interesting to find out that she uses a good mailing list, obviously, because she closed the business down for a little bit while she had a baby, and just by the power of the mailing list really, and a couple of other things, she managed to obviously get back up and running pretty quick with a lot of repeat customers. So that was really good to hear, because I've been kind of doing a lot about attrition rate and stuff with clients, and just talking about the best way to basically keep your clientele list, and how to kind of keep in touch and keep on with them, because it is cheaper to utilize the people that have used you before, rather than obviously gaining new customers. So that should always be kind of looked at first, before you go on some big marketing spree, spending a load of money trying to advertise to new clients. Look to your clients that have used you before, and look and find out why they've stopped, if they've stopped, and try and bring them back before you try and get a load of new clients. So that was really good to find out from her how she did that, and obviously ways that she kind of advertises herself on social media, and a couple of other fit places like Happy Cow, which was something that I hadn't heard of before, and View. What's the other one? Forgotten it already. TripAdvisor. There you go. TripAdvisor. Also with her ebook that she kind of released, that's on Kindle, so you can find that out. It's a vegan baking, or easy vegan baking. That was probably another avenue that would be good to go down if you're in that sort of industry, is because people love ebooks and audiobooks, even kind of hardback books. Really, they're still being used quite a bit, and obviously we discussed the possibilities of obviously going into the videoing of the baking. That could help, especially with good content for Instagram and YouTube and things like that. So yeah, really interesting conversation. I was quite really happy with that. Really happy with how the podcast is kind of going at the moment. So I'm really pleased. It's been really well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Have a look. Tell me what you think. Again, if you're interested in joining or jumping on the podcast, then just get in touch. Yeah, there we go. Thanks. How's that? Hi Louise, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. So 280 Bakes is your company. Where did the baking kind of come from? Where was that passion come from to start baking cakes?
Well, I've always baked cakes, and I've always been a bit experimental. My mum will completely vouch for that. I made I think it was a Snickers cake and a Toblerone cake, just using a basic recipe and throwing loads of other stuff in. When I was a kid, I used to do that all the time. And then I started baking a lot about 4.5 years ago, and I thought, I can't eat all this cake. My husband can't eat all this cake. I don't want him to eat all this cake. So I started doing a porch sale every fourth Sunday, I think it was, for my neighbours, and then that took off, and people started asking for birthday cakes, and it just grew. So now I take orders online, and I don't sit on my porch anymore.
But that's full time, is it? That's all you do? Is the cake?
No. This is separate. So I also have an office job as well, working from home at the moment. But yeah, it's quite different. But I managed to run it alongside. I'm only part time in my office job as well. So nice change, really. It's very different to doing this all day on the laptop.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, working with your hands is kind of. Yeah, it's pretty good sometimes. It can get a bit boring, I find. That's why I thought I'd do the podcasting as well. It's just a bit of a change, really, to kind of working on site all the time. Yeah, so I had did a bit of a research before we jumped on the call. And I saw you've got your Facebook page with a good amount of followings. You got your website, and then I saw you're on TripAdvisor as well. Where does most of your work kind of come from? Is it mainly word of mouth, or do you get quite a bit from those online?
It's mainly Facebook. We're on Happy Cow as well, with the vegan food. I think it's like a TripAdvisor for vegan food.
Okay.
That comes through sometimes, but word of mouth is important as well. You're right. we get a lot of people say, "Oh, you baked for my friend, and can you do one for me?" That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Repeat customer. So I had a little pause in the business when I had a baby. You can probably see the corner of the playpen there. And then since then I've reopened in July this year, and people have come straight back. So it's been really, really good to see that people have come right back, old customers that I've had before after a 15-month break. So
how did you, was there any tricks to kind of retaining those people? Did you have like an email list and then you just kind of ping an email across and say I'm open again, or how did you do that?
Yeah, I had I've got a newsletter that goes out every month. So a lot of people stayed on the list, just waiting for me to reopen again. And then I emailed other customers to say we're back. I got email addresses for them. That obviously they were happy for me to have their email address, but just dropped them a line saying we're back, and then the website went back and started getting hits on. I think something like 3,000 people now have looked at the Google map.
Like Google My Business thing.
Yeah, they've looked at the photos, so some of it comes from there as well.
Yeah, I do try and that's something that I've been really focusing on this year is the Google My Business part, just optimizing that. And then I keep kind of saying to people that, you know, every time you put like a picture on Facebook or Instagram, you know, put it on Google My Business as well, because it just slowly boosts your local rankings, and it's a really easy way to get onto that front page of Google. You know, if someone local searches for you, you know, the maps generally, apart from the ads, the maps will come up first before your search rankings. So that's a real good way to just get right in the front of everyone.
I find it fascinating where everybody comes from. When I still find it quite funny when I get an Instagram one, because an Instagram order. Because I would never look on Instagram it's not my thing. I only do it as a business. So I'm like, oh, somebody found me on Instagram. It's really nice.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Social media. I find with the kind of the plumbing and that kind of construction industry that there's a lot of people that send out recommendations, but a lot of my kind of inquiries have been a bit of a waste of time. But then I know a Tyler that's where he gets all of his work from. It's just Facebook inquiries.
So really interesting. Things like Checker Trade are really good for like laboury type jobs like that. I've recommended a few people on that, so I think that's helpful.
The mailing list, though, what you kind of mentioned is really important. That's something that I've really been trying to focus on, just getting that mailing list together so that you do have that permission to, you know, with anything new that comes out, or, you know, like you say, if you reopen, just getting that across and sent over is a massive thing. I've been
so I try and keep it to one a month unless it's something bigger that happens. So things like, these are some of the cakes I've made this month. These are the recent blog posts in case you've missed them. This is coming up. Here's an offer. That kind of thing. So I hope it's interesting. I get quite a good open rate on the newsletter. It's about 35% of people. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
No, that's good. I've been speaking to a couple of people recently about just attrition rate. You know, with like, you know, trying to keep older clients and how much money you actually do spend on a new client. And I found that with mailing lists, it's a lot easier to keep that old, you know, the older clientele, or the people that have been with you for a while. If you keep interacting with them, they might not have bought anything off of you for, you know, a few months, but if they know that you're there, then it's a great way for them to kind of come back, and you're not spending a lot of money on sending an email out. Whereas, you know, if you can, you know, paying for ads and doing all of this on social media or Google ads, you're spending a lot before you can get a new person in.
It's mainly time as well, isn't it? As well. So I think the newsletter is a really good, you call it attrition, but I call it like a drip effect, like a tap. So you just do a little bit every so often, keep them in your mind. And then with birthday cakes especially, like a lot of people buy things like lemon cakes, Victoria Sponge, traditional cakes, and cupcakes maybe, but birthday cakes are so time restricted, if you like. So if you've got a birthday on February the 4th, you're going to want a cake for then. You don't want it in November. So if you can just drip feed generally and gradually, then I think it just keeps you in the forefront of people's minds. It's really helpful.
Have you thought about maybe whenever someone orders like a birthday cake or an anniversary cake, jotting that date down of when their birthday is and maybe sending them something a little bit closer to the time?
I haven't kept a track of actual birthdays because I feel like that's a little bit on the territory of data that maybe they don't want me to keep.
Yeah.
But what I have done is when that month comes around again that they've ordered, I've gone back to the previous year's order and said, oh, you ordered a birthday cake around this time. Would you like another one? And if I've got the name of the child that I had to write, I don't know, Matilda or David or whoever on the cake, I say, oh, it's David's birthday coming up. Would you like another cake?
Yeah.
So in that way, like I'm not keeping track of their actual birthday.
Yeah, not the specific date, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, that's yeah, it gives you that personal touch as well, doesn't it? That they've remembered that it's such and such's birthday. Like, wow, and there's more chance then they're probably going to order from you.
Yeah, really, really helped in the past to just look at this time last year who was ordering, and it can tie in obviously with Christmas and things like that. If people have had Christmas cakes before, I can go back to them and say, I know you like my Christmas cakes. Would you like another one?
Yeah.
Looking back at this time last year is really, really helpful to try and get repeat business.
Yeah. I'd heard a story of, and I think the guy's name was like John Gerard or something like that, and he was the apparently he's in the Guinness World Book of Records for the best salesman ever, and apparently his trick was to send people cards throughout the year, like a birthday card or an Easter card or a Valentine's card. And this was way before, back before social media and all of that. And yeah, so he was a car salesman. And he would just consistently, apparently it got to the point where he had to have 2 assistants sending out these cards to his customers. And yeah, every kind of, 3 or 4 years, they'd just keep coming back to him. So it does work.
For me, I remember where I bought my car from. It's such a rare occurrence that I would buy a car. I remember I got it from that garage or that, whatever. Yeah. I find that crazy. Wow, that's some investment, but good for him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to be in the Guinness World Book of Records. Sorry, I'm going to oh, that's okay. Yeah, UPS is just dropping something off. Yes. Well, what was I good? So I had a bit of a look online. So you've got your cakes, your birthday cakes, your cupcakes. I noticed as well you've got a bit of an ebook going on for vegan cakes or vegan baking.
That happened just before I had the baby. I wrote an ebook, or published an ebook called Easy Vegan Baking, and it gives you some recipes for like an easy way to start if you want cakes. So a lot of vegans, especially we're really lucky where I live in Bristol. There's a massive vegan community, so you can get vegan food everywhere. But some places, some vegans really struggle to get cake still, and I think that's such a shame. Yeah. So I've got some recipes in there that are really easy to go with, things that you're going to have in your cupboard already. I don't need anything complicated, and just to get going. And there's a meal plan if you're a new vegan, you might try some new things. And there's also things about Veganuary I've mentioned as well, which is where people can take January to be vegan, a bit like dry January, but for not eating meat and whatnot. So yeah, it's just a little vegan life in a book, really, with some recipes and things like that. And yeah, it's been going quite well, actually. I haven't been massively promoting it, but Easy Vegan Bacon, if I can get that out of my mouth, it's on Kindle.
Yeah, so yeah, have you considered kind of releasing any more?
Not at the moment. I did think about doing a gluten-free version, because a lot of my customers are gluten-free as well, but I haven't got around to that yet. I have just had a baby. Yeah, give me a break.
Okay. No, that's great. That's really interesting. I'll check out the vegan one as well, actually, because I'm not vegan, but me and my partner tried a little while ago, and we did pretty well. What we found was, because we were in New Zealand at the time, and it was just finding those substitutes for something like honey. It was like, what can we use and where can we find that substitute? Things like honey and just the small things.
I'm trying to think, there's a lot of my recipes have got really simple substitutes, because before I had a baby, I guess totally different life. I used to do same day cakes as well. So if I had those things in the cupboard. Like I knew I had the stuff for a chocolate cake or a Victoria sponge. It wasn't like I was desperate for agave syrup or flaxseed or something. So if I knew that I had those kind of ingredients, it made me feel a lot more controlled about everything and made it a lot easier. So yeah, take a look, have a look at the recipes and
we'll
and
do.
what you think.
The gluten-free one, I might try and push you to do that actually, because my partner's gluten-free. So yeah, if you can get that.
I should send you the recipe. You could be my trial run. How's that? You could be my proofreader.
Oh yeah, happy proof eater maybe. No, that'd be good. Yeah, things are definitely kind of moving towards that side of because I mean, there's so many normal cookbooks out, and I know there's probably quite a few vegan and gluten-free ones now, but it's just getting into that market, isn't it? And especially if you've got your cakes to kind of back it up. You know, you could find that just by selling it, there's the ebooks or Kindle books, you could find that people then trace you back to, oh, you bake cakes as well.
Yeah, and again, it helps with the Google ranking, I guess. With it mentions 280 bakes in the book, and on the listing, so that should boost a little bit as well.
So. Something I didn't look at, which you might or may not do. Have you tried kind of videoing like the making of the cakes? And then,
haven't, no. Our house is a little bit chaotic. I think it would be a real natural film if it was done with the dog running in and out of the back garden, the baby shrieking, and but I think one day I should do it. That is a good idea. I did have a bit of YouTube action going on, but they were really short films and quite often just showcasing photos like on a slideshow. But yeah, you're right. A live bake would be quite cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's all the kind of with the cooking shows and stuff that are on TV. It's just like a YouTube version, really. And especially if you're in that kind of niche market of the vegan cooking baking or the gluten free, I think that would attract a lot of people because on TV it's mainly typical American kind of meat and this and massive meals and all of that. Whereas those kind of niche industries, they're definitely searched for. I
think maybe one of the things that stopped me from doing that was the 40 minutes or hour or so that the cake needs to bake. So maybe doing it live, I could do like a 2-stage thing where I make it and then here it is when it's half an hour staring at me. Nobody wants that.
Just sitting there.
I'm just going to read my book for a bit. You carry on.
Start reading to the camera. No, that's great. Is there anything that you wanted to kind of mention, for anyone watching or potentially watching that you could, a bit of a sales pitch maybe, or a bit of a...
I'm just really interested to see what people think because I'm quite limited to the Bristol local area where we live at the moment. It's BS 9, 10 and 11 that I deliver to. But yeah, if people want to drop me a line, ask me any questions. We're on Twitter. Well, I say we. It used to be we. I used to have a team of bakers working for me, but I've cut a bit back. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment, and it's just simpler if it's just me doing it. So I love it. Absolutely, truly love it. I couldn't wait to get back to it after the baby turned 1, and just really encourage any comments. People want to look at the website. I'm going to put a few more pictures of the cakes on there.
Okay.
I used to have a gallery on there, but nobody was really looking at that page, so I've changed it to just listing the types of cakes that we do. It's going to be a lot more visual soon, so I'd like to hear some feedback on that. If anybody wants to take a look at the website, 280bakes.com.
I'm not too sure whether Weebly, is it Weebly that you got it off, isn't it? I don't know whether you can on them, but I know on mine I can integrate my Instagram feed onto the website.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I should look at that.
Yeah, kind of not 2 birds with 1 stone sort of thing. Once you've uploaded on that, it just goes onto the website, which is quite useful. It does slow the website, just the initial loading speed slightly, just with that program. Because I use Wix for all of mine, and that kind of works quite well. Although I haven't done it for the bearded plumber one, but I did have another one which linked in. I think every now and again it desyncs and you've got to then reconnect. I think that's more of just a security.
I've seen that. I have another website where I with my writer hat on, I used to do quite a lot of writing. It's a little bit old now, but there was a widget for Goodreads, and that never really seemed to refresh very much. But yeah, I'll have a look at that. That's a good tip. Thanks.
How long have you been around kind of Bristol way? Is it just
We are 5.5 years now. I grew up in Swindon and then worked for about 8 or 9 years in the Northampton area. Had a year in Canada and then came to Bristol.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I've been 10 months now. 10 months.
Oh, right. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just outside of Bristol. I'm Acton. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know well.
Avoids the traffic, but still not too far into the city centre.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's a good part of the world actually. I really like it.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be moving far from Bristol, if ever.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, it was really lovely to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
No, that's all right. That's not a problem at all. I'll get this all edited up and get it all online, and yeah, hopefully we'll push a little bit your way for anyone interested in watching. And yeah, hopefully, like you say, if you're after that feedback and those comments, then hopefully they'll do that as well.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks for that.
Cool. No problem at all. Good to see you.
Thanks. Bye.